So, guys, we've got an hour. So we will try the best to do to get you guys all up to date over the next hour, because at the top of the hour, I need to go and do some work. So over the next hour, this is going to be up to date. Like every single day, we'll be updating, and seeing what's what and so forth. So where we are right now is Man City have apparently released a statement that said that they are putting proceedings to leave the Super League. We are hearing Chelsea are using proceedings to leave the Super League. We're hearing Woodward has stepped down as the chief executive of Manchester United. We have heard that conflicting reports about Agnelli. People say Agnelli stepped down, but people say no, he has not stepped down. People thought Atletico had left. People said no, Atletico haven't left. So Perez, I believe, is going to speak maybe in an hour or so. So we want to now hear what Perez is about to say. So let me come first to Red, because this is how we started. We started with Red. So Red, is it over, or we still need to see how this unfolds?
No, HH, calma. You can't just because look, City don't want to join.
People start bring Red on to apologize because it's all finished and over.
No, here's the thing. Like City, from the beginning, they didn't need this. City don't need the Super League. City are self-sufficient. They have good enough money. They have good infrastructure. They never really complain. The Premier League brings in enough money for their clubs, right? Especially for City, because they have also rich owners. So them pulling out, it's because they don't need it. They don't need this kind of backlash from their fans. If the Super League does go on, let's say in like 2 years from now, it succeeds, City will join again. Obviously, they're welcome. They're a competitive club. They're an elite club. That's what the competition is meant for. So. To say that it's over, I don't think so. I think already we're seeing some progress, because if you look at UEFA today, by the way, yesterday I saw Florentino Perez's interview in Chingarito. He was grilled, right? But he answered with straight. He let you guys all know it's about the money. He let you guys all know these clubs are struggling. These clubs can't compete. Right?
And also say what was a key thing was what I said, that UEFA aren't being transparent.
They aren't,
and UEFA are not good guys. So guys, don't start saying that. I know we love the Champions League. Don't start saying, "Oh, UEFA stood up." No. UEFA are also guilty here and so forth, because this is about, bro. You're making money here. Cut each other's because you're obviously lining your pockets with a lot of that Champions League money. So
here's the thing, HH. There's a saying that says you can never get a straight answer out of a crooked man, right? Florentino Perez answered straight. FIFA and UEFA, when they responded this morning, not a single straight answer. Even though they denied having extra money to help out these clubs during this time of crisis, they revealed that they have $4 billion right now that they're going to induce. So already Florentino Perez saved a lot of these clubs. He's already helped the benefit of it, because he's forking out more cash out of UEFA that they were hoarding. Even though the clubs they have no infrastructure at all right now. There's no goal technology.
Because my thing is that I said again, the numbers don't matter. How is it that you only win 100 million for winning the Champions League?
That's it. No, apparently that's all. That's all football can generate. The biggest sport on the planet. That's all they could generate, right? So now let's talk about like the big clubs, right? Let's talk about the actual problem, like why these clubs are doing what they're doing right now, right? So you look at Barcelona, right? They're now competing with PSG and City for players, right? Two big players. PSG could just roll up with $220 million and drop it and just cash out on Neymar, right? City offers Messi a huge contract. Barcelona, the only way they could compete is by giving Messi a $500 million contract. The only way they can compete is by signing Coutinho and Dembele for these high wages and give them high buyouts. But the only thing is, when you look at the compensation, what they bring in, they're not bringing nearly enough money. UEFA is not giving enough prize money. The prize money is $100 million. That's a fifth. So if they win it, that's a fifth of Messi's contract. That's nothing. The income just doesn't reflect what these clubs bring to the table. That's the problem. When we look at like Liverpool, they don't buy expensive players. Liverpool do amazing business, right? They build up their talent. They don't overspend. They went on and won the Champions League. They won the Premier League. They earned their right to be the best club in the world. And not even a year after they're having financial trouble. How is that? How are the biggest players in Europe all broke? How does that make sense? How can you guys defend UEFA? I'm not for the Super League, by the way. I'm not for the Super League. I'm not for anything. I'm looking at myself as a consumer, right? I'm looking at logistics and the numbers, and it doesn't make sense. These organizations are known to take bribes. These organizations are known to be corrupt. The same people that are against the Super League, they're saying they saved football, they do all this stuff. They're the same people that called Madrid UEFA Drid, and Madrid were supported by UEFA. When Madrid is not in part, we don't like UEFA because of the treatment of the big clubs. They tell you about like how we should feel bad for the smaller clubs, that they're going to be robbed and all that stuff. But like the smaller clubs are already like the leagues are so far gone. The winner of every league is the team with the most money. The team that has the most spending power is the teams that are finishing on the top. The discrepancy between first and fourth is not that big, but between fourth and 20th is huge. It's huge. Like there's no competition because there's just the money is just not being distributed properly. It's just not. And the money, especially amongst the big clubs, there's no money from playing against Elche and Getafe. There's no money. Right now, why? Not saying that you should cancel these games. These are competitive games. You keep the domestic competition. So where are these clubs supposed to get money from? From big competitions, right? Well, the big competitions are randomly generated, so that you can't have these big matchups. Now, let's say if Madrid were to play City, Liverpool, Barcelona more consistently, there's going to be more income coming in, which is what the Super League was going to do, is just introduce one midweek game where it's going to be competitive between the elite competitions of Europe. It's going to be a league format, and then in the end, we get a final 8. Instead, UEFA counters that. You know what UEFA is giving us? Did you guys see the new Champions League format?
Oh no!
You guys see the new Champions League format? Like
it's similar to the Champions League that we already know. It's pretty much the same thing.
It's garbage, and like people are telling me like this is what they want. Like all I'm asking for, I said this in the last Hangout, it's about competition. Steel sharpens steel. I like the idea of the Super League because it challenges UEFA. It challenges the monopoly of UEFA. Because banning these clubs from actually going on with the competition is infinitely worse, because that just goes to show that UEFA is going to be like, you either play by our rules or you don't get to play at all. Right? You give them, allow them to bully every organization that we can't actually just form our own organization. We can't actually fight back or even speak up against the problems that we have with the organization. Right? So that's my 2 cents on the topic. But go ahead, guys.
Wait, so let me just ask everyone this. Does everyone still believe this will still go ahead? Yes or no?
No.
It's way too complicated.
But maybe tomorrow.
It's a bargaining chip. It's not a bargaining chip.
I don't think it's going
let me address it.
Okay, Zeman. Yes, Personal, go for it.
Let me address this. It's not about, let's be honest, like everyone knows, this is about money. This has nothing to do with the competitive nature at all in general. And these clubs are suffering because of the pandemic, and the pandemic has maybe fast forwarded the process. But when it comes to the logistics behind this competition, there's too much people that are getting involved. There's not only outrage from the fans that can be quelled if the competition started to a certain extent. Some fans can be quelled, their anger towards this league competition. But that's why Florentino Perez is pushing for this league to start, because he knows as time passes by, as more fans are outraged and the competition doesn't start, then there's going to be more clubs that are going to get cold feet. And you're also having this is more complicated than we originally assessed it. Now we know that FIFA and UEFA aren't willing to back down. They're not willing to negotiate. They've already.
Oh, no. Like, if they back down, they are screwed. They need these guys, which is why it creates such an interesting thing, because two guys have strong bargaining powers.
And here's the thing. There's also countries being involved. You have to think about this. Countries are going to get involved. Spain is. You look at Spain. You look at England, and the fact that they went out of Europe. They need as much income as they can, and they know this is progressing. This is going to be a competition of the league. If I was to do a regressive analysis on what's trending, on what's the possibility of what this is becoming, you're going to see big clubs moving to nations that can offer them high revenues. You're going to see clubs going to China. That's what these nations fear. These nations fear a stage in which these clubs, these entities, are going to be outside of their economic scope, and they're not going to be able to make revenue out of that. So you have nations being involved in this. That's what complicates this whole process. It's not as simple as.
Wait. What do you mean by nations? What do you mean by the nations?
I mean nations in the sense of, sure, at this point they understand where this is going. At a certain point, they understand that this is going to be this is highly going to be motivated by money. And at the end of the day, when this is motivated by money, this is going to become this in a way is going to start becoming a thing of how much can we generate revenue. Oh, maybe we should go to China because China offers more fans to us than our local region. So it's going towards there. And
my thing is that, and I think that's what the point that Red made is that this isn't the end of it. People say, "Oh no, football has been saved." What about no? What this has opened up a can of worms, because what this has shown is, look, people think I'm thinking. People say, "Oh, you're backtracking." I said this is not going to happen. What you're going to see is you're not going to see a renegotiation. I said no. Exactly. I just don't see. I don't see this thing materializing. But what you're going to see is that this is now open up a thing of wait a minute. Yeah. You're back, ready. You're back. So this is going to open up a thing of like, wait a minute, Champions League. Are you really getting what we deserve, especially financially? Because these guys, they know how lucrative these clubs are. They know how much money these clubs can freaking get. So I need people to understand here, UEFA are not the good guys here. These are clowns who don't really care about racism, so they give you a hand of water. And these are guys who they are lining their pockets with money that should be going to these clubs.
Wait, let me make my point.
Because I won't go through everyone.
I also want to say this: that the FIFA president, the UEFA president, please don't bring morals into this. I heard a quote for them saying that Qatar having the World Cup is gonna somehow it doesn't violate human rights when people are dying from making those things. And I seen and I
not
seen
to mention
people,
bribery to get it, to get it there.
UEFA and it's like, I can understand people say, "Oh, you want to keep football the way it is," and so forth. But guys, FIFA and UEFA, these are not the good guys. Okay, these are not the nice guys.
And also, people don't compare Perez to Hitler. It doesn't make sense. I don't like that guy, but to compare him to Hitler.
Perez is
forget
better.
Those guys.
Perez is saving us, unlike Hitler. Perez
See, people have seen so much crap on the timeline. I've seen someone say, "Oh my gosh, someone put out Twitter that I would sell my kids to allow a small team to be able to compete with that." Wait, what?
That's bullshit.
No, the kind of sentimental crap I've heard has made me almost want to puke. You know, it's like people say, "Oh my gosh, Paris, you've destroyed everything. This is a horrible thing." I was like, what? You know? So wait. I want to go through everything. So let me come to Nata. So Nata, where you are with this? So Nata, so your boys have released a statement saying that they're not going to pop off, apparently, because that's what Fabrizio Romano put off. So where are you at with this whole thing?
I just want to be real quick here, because let's be honest here. The Real Madrid and their fans have really shown their colors. Let's be honest, because I already know what the reason is. Okay, the money. They lost 400 million euros this season. In this pandemic, but hasn't Bayern lost money this pandemic? Hasn't Dortmund lost money this pandemic? Hasn't PSG lost money in this pandemic? And then you guys are orchestrating a whole freaking Super League to earn even more money than any other team. I don't care if you lost money. Everybody's losing money. Nobody's making any money right now. So what does it give you right?
Okay, but
bro, every other club is making money. They have the opportunity to make money.
Wait, Natsa, hold up. There's a thing called you have to just deal with the reality of the situation. Okay, you handle your money badly and so forth, but the reality is you're in debt. That's right. Who cares how you're in debt? You're in debt. We're now in a pandemic. The vaccines are still getting rolled out. We don't know when stadiums are now going to be full. So what do? Just sit like this and just hope for a bailout?
That's not the reason they did it. It's not just because COVID. This has been planned for years.
But Ahmad, the fact is that we may not know it's true, but it's a perfect excuse. See, we will never know. Maybe it's a perfect excuse.
The fact of the matter is this Super League should have been done 20, 30 years ago. Football as a sport is actually behind on what its potential really is. Like the fact that these owners are finally doing this is the right step in direction. If this doesn't, let's say hypothetically this collapses, in 20 or 30 years time, this is gonna rise again, and they're gonna have more credence to support their arguments now.
It's like the current structure is bound to fail. Like it's just bound to fail because like the gap is just getting wider and wider and wider. It's a joke. We celebrate one club winning a trophy.
Wait, quickly, Ray. See, this is the thing that's I need to understand to this whole football fan that say, oh no, we have to keep the structure because we want to give it a chance for a small team to beat a big team. So you guys who either you support a Man City, Real Madrid, or so forth, you do realize that 9.99 times out of 10, you beat the living crap out of that smaller team. You do realize that you easily dwarf those smaller teams in terms of spending power and so forth. So what is it exactly that you're fighting for? Because these clubs that you're so forth, they can't compete with you. They can't even come close.
I mean, the Premier League clubs already did this in 92. They did the exact same thing in 92. They bypassed the FA. They screwed over the small players. They screwed over ITV. They went for Sky Sports. And they did the exact same thing.
You see, Red, as I say, I don't want to hear any nonsense from the Premier League. You guys have, since 1992, you have enjoyed and been living lavishly financially as the Premier League has just come in, pumping up money and so forth. Don't now come with their high horse and now say you now stand on the moral high ground, because first of all, you created this and you benefited off from it, because I know that you would have benefited financially with the Abramovich, the Sheiks and Glazers coming into to play. So it's what it is. Well, let me come to Red Devil. So Red Devil, Woodward apparently has resigned and stepped down and so forth. So where are you at with this whole thing, man? So is that an indication? Because we've not heard anything official that United have left. It's all we've heard is that Woodward has stepped down. So where?
Well, Joe Glazer has come out with some comments now, and he's talked about thanking Ed Woodward for the process, and he's going to be stepping down at the end of the year. So it is pretty much confirmed. The fact that he's stepping down at the end of the year, part of me does think, because I know a lot of people are saying, oh, it's a reaction to this. Some people saying he's resigned because Harry Maguire and the players went to the office and like that.
Red Devil, wasn't this planned before? Wasn't he always supposed to retire? Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. I do recall, and this is the funny thing. There are a lot of things where, like, if you actually go back in retrospect, you can see that some of these things were mentioned, but because of the nature of how media works, it doesn't generate much news until the right environment comes around. So I do remember, like, at least towards the end of last year, there've been murmurings of Ed Woodward having to go, but it just didn't get any traction. It now has. So I suspect that the reason is not related necessarily to this, although this may have, like a lot of things, accelerated it. Obviously, a lot of fans are very, Woodward out, etc. Now the Glazers are next. I'm not optimistic, just for the simple reason that I'm not. Yeah, I don't know who buys Manchester United. Who has the money right now to buy Manchester United Football Club in the midst of a global sort of pandemic, or can stop?
Wait.
Arabs.
Wait. What do you mean by wait? Don't the Glazers own the stuff?
No, the Glazers.
But what people say we're coming out.
Wait, sorry. Say again. Talk.
Yeah, so with Woodward going out, because the whole reason why a lot of guys don't get gas is because it's kind of like it's the whole kind of Woodward out, Glazers out. So idea is that, well, now Woodward's gone, we can try and get the Glazers out as part of this process and get them away.
Red Devil, isn't it? Because...
No. Hold up, Red Devil. I am so thank you for raising that point. So Glazers out, Kroenke out, all these guys out. Okay, cool. These guys are going to be good financially. So fans, are you going to pay the wages of these players?
They can't.
Who is now going to?
No, but there's a lot of
people
that want to buy clubs, though. It's not only
because
these
other
American.
buyers.
There's a lot of billionaires that want to buy these clubs.
Okay, that's a fine. You best find an owner who, in a pandemic, is going to want to buy this club and take over the squad. If you have cool. All I'm saying is that someone needs to own this club.
See, can I just divert this from Football Hangout just to a bit of financing? So just to give you guys a little bit of myself, I work in finances. I approve financial loans and stuff like that. So if a business owner were to come to me, right? Whenever you want to approach with a business model, you always have to have a self-sufficient business model where you could operate on your own, where you could show your generated revenue, how you're going to invest in it, because it's illegal to have cash injections. That's not taxable income. Like you can't just inject your business with cash, and you will never get approved for anything if you say that. So there's only two clubs in the world that could do that, which is PSG and City. which they don't even get cash injected through their groups. It's funneled through a system because PSG
Wait, is
are under
Madrid backed by a state though? Is it Madrid?
No,
backed by a state?
Madrid is a club that's 100+ years. That's like not backed by a state. It has socios. It's owned by the fans. It's owned by by Madrid fans. You could become a member and you join, and all Madrid's revenue is public. You could actually go and find out all the trades, everything that they've ever done, all the money that they've ever received. There's nothing backed by the state.
Yeah, not to divide you, but quick point, and it's a question. It's back to UEFA and FIFA. Are UEFA and FIFA's public? Do people know how much?
No, they aren't. They aren't.
That's why,
no
that's why
transparency.
Perez mentioned it. Yeah,
no transparency whatsoever. And Perez said it's a monopoly. It's just about challenging the monopoly. That's all.
People are happy with that. I don't get that. But anyway, so go on, Red.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is that, like, even with the way City does it, for example, they have a whole group behind them where they have like NYCFC, they have the club in Australia, Sydney FC, and they have Girona. They have like multiple stuff. The way they get the cash to them is it doesn't. That's why they had like the whole issue with UEFA. Is because UEFA was like, you're injecting cash. They were like, nope, it's through sponsorships, through our original group, which it is technically injecting cash, but they're doing it via legal way. But anyways, like what I'm saying is like not all clubs have that ability. Like even Barcelona, let's say in Madrid, even Barcelona right now, what they're doing to be able to compete with this is they're selling off their corporate assets, corporate shares to be able to compete with this kind of model. And the problem is these clubs don't have to sell their souls. They don't have to sell themselves off to billionaires and corporations just to compete, when they can actually just solve the problem by giving us blockbuster matchups, that's all they're trying to do. They're like, you know what? We're not asking for bailouts. We're not asking for handouts. We're asking for the ability to have the alternative of matching up against the other European elites and getting money based off of that revenue. And why are people treating this as if this is the end of the world? They're not asking to get rid of the
wait, okay, basically the pushback, because let's look at all angles here. And also, I want to make sure that everyone can speak, because we have to be done like at the top of the hour. But so basically, the pushback here is people are saying, okay, we are creating this exclusive model, and it removes the whole thing of merit and you being able to earn your rights to enter this exclusive model. And it is unfair if you have a model where you cannot get relegated.
But
so you don't really enter your rights.
None of the players in this system, none of these founding clubs are even a threat of being relegated. And plus, the ballsy move that they took. You can't make this kind of ballsy move without any security on your investment, right? So why would I, as Arsenal, risk my whole connection with UEFA and the Premier League and all this income that I'm getting if I get no security in going here? So just like when football was originally founded in 1888, there was no relegation, there was no promotion, because it wasn't big enough. But once it got to a point where it was so big, they started introducing these aspects slowly. Right, this is a starting point, right? So you have to, for these clubs to be able to join into this, right, and really back this thing, because they're going up against the biggest organization in the world in FIFA, where they control every asset aside from the Copa America. They control everything. You guys can't transfer a player without paying them. You guys can't go play without paying them. You guys can't do anything without paying them. They get it cut off everything. They're rinsing these clubs. Look at City, by the way. Look at how they rinsed City over the past decade. They've been giving them just financial trouble, taking them to courts and all this stuff for no reason. No reason. They have the money, they want to spend it, and they just stop them just because they want to cut. They want to make sure that everything that the city's funneling through, they want to cut, and that's the problem. That's why we have.
Okay, wait, because I want to get to everyone. So let me just quickly read these dubs, and I want to make sure that everyone can speak. So from Rambo339, thank you for the dub, Rambo339, who says, "Everyone be afraid when United gets serious owners, sack Ole, bring in a serious manager, and sell that 80 million balls at the back. We win the quadruple every year." Don't think so, man. Just spending money ain't going to just win the quadruple, bro. Ain't happening. From Nemes Patel, who says, "Screw Perez and clowns like Red who supports him." God damn.
Don't come at Red, man. It's not our fault that you enjoy watching garbage football.
Wait. Okay, look, after you have your chance, you'll have a chance.
Wait. I mean, Marley, let me go next. I have to.
No. Marley,
you know your goat played in garbage football.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear. Yeah.
First of all, I don't agree with most people here. FG, one of the reasons why you probably like this is because you're a fanboy and you want Ronaldo to stack.
I'm a neutral.
Okay, FG, mute. Just let him land.
Okay.
Let him land.
First of all, the statement Perez said yesterday was absolute baloney. No one here has called him out. He's saying 16 to 24-year-olds don't have interest in football. Personally, I'm 18.
I think he said losing interest. That's younger people are losing interest.
Yeah, but
bro,
that's not
I'm
true.
gaining more interest. Forget losing interest.
HH, most of the people on the Hangout are between 16 and 24. Everyone loves football. So I don't know what he was saying. some of the statements he was making is utter baloney. And I've been watching your videos, HH. You haven't really put across your point of view on how you feel. You're just really saying the facts. I wanted to know how you feel about this, because every video I've watched of you, you're talking about the facts, but you haven't really explained why you think this is wrong or right.
Okay, very simply. Either way, I'm cool. Either way, I'm cool. I built this channel, and my thing of the channel was always about football, and specifically the best against the best. The videos that generate the most views, the most interest, the most back and forth, Champions League, El Clasico, World Cup, Euros, AFCON, and the biggest possible games. It is what it is. And just for me, the games that I enjoy the most and so forth are the biggest possible games. So for me, I was cool. Champions League, that's what I get revved up for. And this is pretty much like almost like a Champions League every single week. So I was like, oh, this is cool. So if this happens, I'm down. It's cool. I will watch. I'm interested. If this doesn't happen, okay, it's cool. I'm still down because I still have my Champions League. So my viewpoint almost doesn't matter, because I'm like, I'm cool either way. So I was just trying to say, like, let's just deal with the facts and look at what was happening and why this is happening. And the fact that this is a natural progression of things, because people don't realize how club football works, and there were too many sentimental merchants who don't realize what football is and what it has become. So
yeah,
it's all about money. We all know.
HH, I have a question? Another question. Did you see the protest outside of Stamford Bridge tonight?
Yeah. I saw Czech.
Yeah, they were all there.
Bro, it was embarrassing.
My view on this is I disagree with this. I don't want this to happen. I was watching the Hangout on Sunday about this, and the majority of people there were fine with this. I don't want this to happen. It's against football and the values of football and
Wait.
Values.
Easy, Marley. Okay, Marley. Guys, easy, Marley. So if this was to go forth, you wouldn't watch.
No, of course I would watch it. It'd be entertaining, but I'm saying that I wouldn't want this to happen, and I don't think that
No, Marley, you can't have your cake and eat it. If you don't want it to happen and you don't like it, you can't watch it.
You
can't have your cake and eat it.
If this is going to happen, of course I'm going to watch.
But it's not in his control, though. It's not in his control. So if it happens, it's not in his control.
No, Nata, you can't have your cake and eat it. If you're against it, you don't like it and so forth, don't watch.
Look, this is the right thing to do, okay? Even if you don't like it, you have to at least give one season. Give this European Super League one season, see how it plays out, see if you enjoyed. And after it concludes, you can have a reasonable conclusion whether you want to keep supporting this or not. Don't just, they just planned this. You can't always go against change. You have to at least experience the change itself and then come to a conclusion.
Wait. I want to make sure everyone speaks. Ahmad, talk to me. Your thoughts on this?
First of all, the old club PSG stayed football. So I just want to say that.
Give me a break.
Both.
But first of all, the thing with Perez, Red said he was answering straight or something like that. The guy was a complete liar yesterday.
Tell me, what did he lie about?
Thank you.
He lied about PSG not being invited.
Okay, but let me just teach you guys. This is a teaching moment. Let me teach you
one more thing.
Yep, go ahead.
Said that he convinced Laporta 1 week ago, and now Laporta is coming out and saying that the fans will decide if they go to the Super League or not.
He never said he convinced Laporta. He said Laporta knows what Barcelona needs to do. And
no, he said I convinced Laporta.
Translation? Do you speak Spanish? Do you speak Spanish, bro? Because he said they understand the situation.
Because Romano broke it down pretty well. I forgot what Romano did, because he broke down the thingy pretty well, and I think he said Laporta sort of understands the situation, specifically financially.
So let's, HH, can I just speak about that real quick? So from what's leaked from the FIFA president, what he said about how he spoke to Agnelli last week about it, like, is this happening? Agnelli told him flat out that no, it's not happening, and this is all false. This has all been done in the shadows. It's been done behind closed doors because they can't operate in the clear daylight because it's a monopoly owned by UEFA. These clubs will be punished heavily for speaking up against UEFA. So it's all been done in the shadows. Now, it's common knowledge known that PSG, right, is in bed with FIFA and UEFA because they have the Qatari World Cup coming up, right? So how could Perez come out and speak about an off the record situation, which all of this stuff was off the record? Even the leaks that you guys are talking about weren't formal documents. This is all off the record. He can't say that they were this was all formal. He said they literally specified with the word formal. When it comes to business, you can't just like he can't just come out and just be like, no, PSG was in on it and they changed their mind like that. No, but that would ruin PSG's relationship with FIFA, which would ruin his relationship with PSG. It's called being shrewd, right? Like obviously nothing in business is always clean. But this is how you have to operate.
Wait. It doesn't change the fact he's a liar.
Wait. I want to make sure that's because again we are tight on time. I want to make sure that everybody gets it. So Ahmad, so where do you stand on what has happened and so forth? So do you feel it's still going to happen? It's not going to happen? Like where are you at right now based on everything that has happened?
For me, I'm so confused, and this week has been pretty mad because in one hand, I think the Super League is very, very bad in the way that the owners are very greedy and they only care about themselves. I wouldn't mind a Super League if they do it the right way, because UEFA is the biggest corruption organization we have.
Yes.
We need to stop UEFA in a way, and this maybe, if it ends good, was a good thing that happened. Maybe UEFA now will spread the money, because it's disgusting how low or how much money they keep to themselves.
Yes.
And lies about how much they have. So in that way, of course, I understand why clubs want to go out from the Champions League and create their own league. I understand that, but still, the disgusting thing is that they went behind everybody's back, all the managers back, all the players back. It's literally 10 owners discussing about football when they know nothing about football. If they wanted to do this, I thought they need to do it properly. Because if you want to do this, you need to have the fans behind you. It's clear they didn't have the fans behind them. No. And one more thing, H, is like, the thing with the Stamford Bridge. I heard someone said it's embarrassing. I actually agree. I think it's very embarrassing because when it comes to football, they makes these type of protests. But when it's racism in football or corruption in football, you never see things like this.
Yo, you know what's funny? I bet the Super League, when they deal with racism, they're gonna do a far better job than UEFA is ever. Watch, man.
Why would you think that? Why would you think that?
Because they know.
Guys, shush. Let's please let everyone speak. So, FG, your take, man. FG.
Oh, wait, my take? Okay, look, City leaving this whole thing, look, I'm not surprised. They don't need this. Chelsea, look, what the reports are saying right now is Barcelona, they're waiting for the club members to vote because that's how they always operate. But I think they'll vote because Laporte is going to convince these guys. Chelsea are in doubt, but look, Roman, stay with the landing. You got to stay. Look, City can leave. We don't need Bayern in this league. We don't need PSG. As long as United, Liverpool, Madrid, and Barca remain, this league will happen without a doubt. And Paris, in 30 minutes, look, he's about to give the interview right now. So we're about to find out like what's going on, all the details. This league, this is still happening. This needs to happen. People are just being overreactionary without any substance. Like, just give this league a chance. If it fails, all it does is
I've heard in response to our points is just insults, people calling us filthy Yanks, even though I'm not even American. And that's it. Nobody has ever gave me one non-sentimental point. Something that's not emotions. Like,
yeah, but the funny thing is, if this fails, all it does is we just go back to the normal ways. So there's no risk. Let these clubs do what they want. If it fails, we go back to normal ways. Nothing.
You can't say that. It ruins people's careers. You can't say that.
How do you know it's gonna go back to normal? Like how can you go 2 years?
All they do is they face the punishment. They go like a couple leagues down, and then over time they'll go back to the normal league.
What? Wait, no. So before I come to Darian, man, let me just read some of these dubs, man. So from Mr. Shane Schubert, who says, worst launch since the Challenger. Jesus, so incompetent. Shane, it ain't over, bro. It ain't over, but it is on shaky ground. But again, we're just getting random reports. We're getting random reports. I'm waiting for stuff that is fully crystallized. I can't use Twitter and just some blobs of stuff that's happened and just some guys. So, but right now, everything's just up in the air. King Mbani. Easy. So from King Mbani, thank you for the double, says, a sponsored reminder that Kai is a fraud. Carry on. I think he's saying Kai Havertz. Look, as long as he shows up against Real Madrid, if there's a chance, it happens.
There's games kicking off, HH.
Wait. If they if they decide to go on, my biggest concern with the Super League is the changing of the rules. I mean, you've seen Florentino Perez say that, you know, kids are losing attention, therefore we're going to make it maybe 15 minutes or decrease the time. At what point are we if he keeps introducing rules like this to make it more engaging? At some point, we're not going to have 11 players on the field. At some point, the rules aren't going to be the same.
No.
That was a what if scenario.
Darian, talk to me. Your thoughts, Darian.
No, HH, you know, I got to start off, right? And it's a little controversial. Half people confident in these Prem fans. But the Premier League is a breakaway league too. Where's the old Division 1? This is just an evolution of the Premier League breaking away. So I don't really get why the Premier League fans are so upset. No, the teams that follow are allegedly Chelsea and Man City, correct?
Allegedly, yeah.
Yeah, good. These men trying to win CLB, so they're going to stand in and keep them out shut until the Champions League is officially over, and then you see what happens. But as I told you, EHH, like, honestly, feel they're just a power play. Because we all know what UEFA is. The one about the, we had, now we got some of the new competition in. It's just going to bring in more money for UEFA. So UEFA are not the good guys. FIFA is building a World Cup where people are literally dying. So I don't get how people are clapping and cheering for FIFA. No, I do know. We have the Don of football, Florentino Perez. I think Florentino he's gonna come out, he's gonna quell things down, and this is gonna go on and he's so much as far as I'm concerned.
So no, wait. But my thing, Darren, though, is that see, we just don't know what to believe. But let's just say these teams do. Let's say Chelsea left, Man City have left, United have left, and so forth. Can it still happen? Because now I'm hearing that, oh no, this is supposed to happen next year. So it's not actually going to happen this August, but it's actually going to happen in a year's time. So, because again, this can't happen. People said it can't happen this August. That's impossible. Now, a possibility is if, let's say, it's postponed. So they just walk out to the Kings and so forth. There's a potential. So, Darren, do you believe, before I come to Noma, do you believe that this thing still has potential to pop up and still carry on?
It does, but probably next year. I think what they would do, UEFA, they try to negotiate some more money. They try to get rid of that trash schedule out for 2021. How could we be in a league table? You play 10 different men, they play 10 different men, we all in the same league. That makes absolutely no sense.
No, it's nonsense, bro. It's nonsense.
Right. So I think what's going to happen is the big boys are going to sit down and meet. Because as far as I'm concerned, you can't have a Champions League without Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juve, Inter, AC, Man United, all these boys. I feel they're going to sit down, they're going to have a conversation. The clubs are trying to get a little more money in. They try probably to wrestle a little control from UEFA. They try to keep the song and the Champions Trophy. And if it doesn't work, they will break off and do their own thing. But I feel the problem they mess up in is not having a way in for other clubs. I feel if they had Stephanie jump, look guys, for the first 3 years.
No. But see, Darren, remember, you have to understand that, yes, this is about sort of maximizing and creating like this entertainment model to appeal to global fans, but this is also to help people out financially. So the whole thing is that, okay, what's your fan base like? What's your reach? Can you contribute to the numbers? If you can, you come in and we now financially protect you. How can we financially protect you? You can get relegated. So again, this thing is about financial protection, and you benefits of financial protection based on what your enterprise or institution can reach. And I'm sorry, okay, before I come to Nomad here, Boris Johnson said we must stop these Premier League clubs and keep them as UK clubs and not international brands.
But they are international brands already.
I say, Boris Johnson, you freaking bozo. These are global brands. So what is it? See, there's some people in England who some English people, not all, but some English people, and I'm sure Red Devil will agree, they are sentiment merchants.
Hey, Shay.
I'll tell you one thing.
So guys, I actually want to have a quick point on media
Easy. So quickly, Red Devil, because I want to come to number and then
just quickly statement. I just find, I do think, especially in the UK, that the same arguments that were propped in our country for Brexit are frankly not that dissimilar to the same arguments the Super League is having now. Taking back control. We're not having enough control in Europe. We want to have more money, etc. Literally, the absolute hypocrisy and irony of Boris Johnson coming out and use the exact same rhetoric to convince UK to leave. It's the same rhetoric that has happened now, and saying, nah, we want to model what Germany's doing. We want things to go to the fans.
As long as it suits them.
Okay, no, wait. So what's it called? Nomad and then Mo? Nomad.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you.
I think there's a huge difference between, what is it? Was this red before me? Yeah, I think there's a huge difference between Brexit and what's happening now, because if you listen to Perez, he never said we don't want to be a part of the Champions League.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And also, he never said that we don't want to be part of La Liga. They never said that.
Yeah,
Stop
so it's
putting
not
off
like
a false
Brexit.
narrative. These teams never said that they are leaving the Premier League. They never said that. But continue.
Yeah, so this is not like Brexit. They just want to. They just want another competition, right?
I only use that example just as a kind of a sort of take a piss, so pull out the hook. Not that it is exactly like Brexit, but just to kind of sense the irony. Sorry, but go on.
Yeah, so I think instead of Brexit, I think this is much more comparable to NATO, right? They just want to create a different group of clubs. They want to do their own thing. But anyway, I think this isn't going to happen anymore. I think they tried. I think they're going to try again in a year's time or so. And, what more can I say? Do you want to have a question for me?
Can I say one thing?
No. Okay, Natsa, I promise I'll come to because I want to make sure everyone speaks. So Mo and then Natsa after Mo. Mo, are you there? Okay, Natsa, talk to me.
Look, I don't have anything. Look, majorly, I don't have anything against the Super League. But if it's done right, I don't have anything against it.
And what's done right though?
Here's done right. You can't have 12 clubs that cannot be relegated whatsoever. Like, you can't have these clubs have that power that they can make money just like year in, year out, just because they have a bigger fan base. It has to be equal playing field. If there's no equal playing field, then I'm not a supporter of the Super League, because the Super League was eventually going to come, because the Champions League is not elite football. It is elite football, but it's not like you're playing against teams like
it's not consistent content.
Yeah, it's not consistent, contest. So if Super League happens, it has to happen fairly. It cannot be ruled by...
life ain't fair, man. People need to give up on this fair thing, bro.
No. Perez can't be the what's it called again? The president.
Yes, he can, bro. There's 4 other vice chairmen. There's 4 other vice chairmen.
Does it matter? Doesn't matter.
Blazer,
Wait. Let Natsa talk.
You can't have 12 vice presidents. These guys can easily freaking rig the whole thing, and they have a contract written down that they have to play for another 22 years under that contract with 4 vice presidents that are owners of the other 4 clubs that are vice president of this freaking the whole Super League. So they can do something that is totally out of bounds, and you have a contract written down, and you never know what can happen. It cannot be possible. An owner of a club cannot rule this thing. It has to be a whole organization ruling this.
There should be a commissioner, an assigned commissioner.
Yeah, conflict of interest, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's my only thing. But if it happens, I'm not against it, because the only thing I would say is they cannot have games outside of the places where these clubs are. It has to be like the Champions League. Thing.
If I could just respond, this is on a side note. HH, this is not to disagree with Nats, because I do agree with what Nats said. I'm talking about like the coverage of this, because like I'm seeing a lot from the UK. Like, honestly, I'm getting a lot of xenophobia like over the past couple of days because of my opinions on this, just because I choose to watch football a certain way. Because like when it comes to the way they're covering it, like, Sky Sports are obviously going to be against this, man. They're going to be against this because they are the sole, like they have ownership over the Champions League TV rights. They're not going to want anything. Means one will have to pay a heavy fine. Yeah, that City don't care about that.
My thing about it is that, did they sign a contract? Because apparently they signed a 23-year contract.
Yes.
Now, is that contract legally binding?
Yes.
That's my thing.
Only way these clubs cannot pay the fine is if all 12 founders approve of it or like disapprove.
Well, that's pocket money for freaking Sheikh Mansour, bro.
Yeah, like no, they can afford it. But like the point is, what I'm trying to say is that we like, guys, you have to have an open mind about this idea. Like, I get that we grew up with certain things. I grew up with the Champions League. I love the Champions League, but like, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like, the quality of football over the past decade, from 2010 over to like now, it's just gotten very bad. Like one of the first seasons that I watched was Sevilla. They had that French striker Konate, who was insane in 2007. That was like one of the first seasons I followed. But like those kind of players don't exist anymore. All the good players are in the top clubs, and all the top clubs are spread out throughout Europe, and they barely face each other. And like we don't get that. And these clubs are now running into situations where they're going through financial problems, and they're trying to solve it not by asking for handouts, not by jacking up prices of t-shirts or ticket prices or anything like that. They're trying to give us fans more content. They're not trying to eliminate the other competitions. They're trying to find new ways to increase revenue. And instead of us going after these clubs and demonizing them and make them seem like evil, we should try to use this momentum and push UEFA for better changes so these clubs don't have to do this. So don't come at me, insult me because I have my opinion on this. I'm just looking at it as a fan. Like you guys, for the people that are attacking me for this, you guys are the reason we're here. You guys don't care about these small clubs like you say you do. You guys aren't watching these matches. You guys aren't supporting these clubs. You're not buying the kits. You're pirating streams and acting like you're fans. In reality, I'll show you. I have kits from all over the world. I support club from every continent. I don't like support from one continent. I support from. I love Al Ahli. I love Atletico Nacional. I love Al Wahda. I love. There's many types of clubs that I love around the world. It's not that I'm just a Real Madrid fan. I'm a fan of the sport first and foremost. But over the past decade, this sport has been stagnant. I can literally call every season pretty much by November. It's over. You know who's the clear winner is.
No. Because the thing I ask the guys and so forth is how great of a. Because I'll tell you right now, I just canceled my subscription to the Premier League just now because I was about to say like, okay, I'm only subscribed here because Chelsea and so forth. And then I was looking at that Chelsea Brighton game. I was like, why am I actually subscribed to this every month? And when I now look at the totality of games this season, it's not been great. I can't buy into something that isn't good because people forget like, this has to entertain you. It is really, and the reason why we fell in love with it is because we like it. This isn't politics. This isn't the UN. Okay, this isn't like a job. Watching football isn't like a job to do. We're watching because we have our jobs, which we hate. Then we do this because this can help us think away from our jobs. This is a distraction from our jobs. Okay, so we're supposed to like it and enjoy the stuff.
This isn't international football, man. Where does the loyalty part come from? All this loyalty. This isn't international football.
Exactly, Nomad. But that's where all the passion is.
No. But you see, no. You see, this has been one of the most important weeks in football fandom because we've truly seen like a massive split between two people. Because like in all the videos that I've done, I've just been looking at the comments and seeing two totally different viewpoints towards this sport and so forth, because what you have are guys who are traditionalists and they live and die off their clubs because they support their clubs and they support the idea of a league and a domestic league and so forth. They are like, no, boom, this is what it's about and so forth. But then there are other guys who look at football on a macro level, look at football in a general sense, who are like, no, I want to watch the best players. I want to watch the best teams. Because I'll keep it real with you. And as I said before, I used to watch every single football game when I was younger. As of right now, I ain't watching most of the Premier League games because the games ain't great. I ain't watching most La Liga games or Serie games or so forth. I'll pick a few, but the quality is in the Champions League. The quality is in the Europa League. The quality are in these tournaments where the best play against the best. Like you may get a quality Premier League game. You may get a quality Serie game. Like you will get those odd games that are good and so forth, but the product generally has declined from 10, 15, 20 years ago.
One last point I want to talk about this is just like people talk about like, oh, we're looking at it from a very American point of view. First of all, your leagues have all sold out to Americans.
Sorry to interrupt you, just breaking. It looks like on BBC on Twitter it's saying that the remaining four English clubs have decided to pull out the Super League. BBC Sport have broken it. Simon Spoonstone has broken it. I think even Fabrizio was tweeting that United was set to draw out the Foam League. So I think
if the English are out, then it's mostly.
I mean, if you can still do this, man. You can still do this.
But the English are bringing the most money, so if they pull out, then it's over.
So it's just Inter, Juve, AC Milan, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid left. If that is true, so
the money is coming from JP Morgan, not from the teams more than anything else.
Of course not. Yeah, of course not. But yeah, that's just I'm saying that 'cause it's just been breaking now. It's over Twitter, so that it looks close to the meeting now. So yeah.
But Hatred, can we say the main thing about this is exposing UEFA, that they had money lying around?
Yeah, of course, man.
So the main thing is here, UEFA have been exposed. So this is going to force their hands into paying.
So they found 4 billion in their couch. That's what
exactly. Exactly. UEFA have that money. So Real Madrid are giving them that money. Bayern Munich are giving them that money. All these top elite clubs, Barcelona are giving them that money, and they're keeping it for themselves. And they've been exposed for it. And now they're gonna force their hands and they're gonna give it to these clubs.
So in the end, they won.
Wait. I want to ask you guys something, man. So, I want to now go to Fallout. What could be the potential fallout of all of this stuff, man?
Nothing. 2 weeks we're gonna forget about this.
No. Honestly, no. Florentino Perez, he's gonna have to resign because I think UEFA are not gonna allow Madrid in any.
Perez is done, man. He was sending shots yesterday. He's done.
I think Agnelli. Look, Agnelli can't show face either. He has to resign.
Yeah, Agnelli.
He backstabbed Suffren. So Perez and Agnelli are gonna face the most.
Because my thing is that let's say so. How do people now view a Kroenke? How do you now view the Glazers? How do you now view Henry and so forth?
Oh, those American guys are still the same. You still view the American guys the same. But Florentino Agnelli, their stock went down a lot.
No. Because why I brought those English clubs, and now I want to come to Hassan. Is that why I brought those English clubs is that they still have majority ownership. And they've just shown what they can do with the majority ownership, that they can literally go behind your backs and so forth and try and set up like a Super League. So my thing is that, because they could easily do it again. But maybe next time, okay, no, let's now do it when we can truly make it happen. Because obviously something botched up, because once the dust settles, there has to be like a movie about this, like a documentary, like how did this come about? Who initiated this? How did this all go through? Because look, the website still exists. The superliga.com. So
it's not dead yet. Like it's the whole thing is like
red.
It's messed up. No, guys, it's on pause.
Let me say my piece.
No. Hassan, talk to me, Hassan, because I said Hassan. So Hassan.
It's just gonna go back. My mic wasn't working before.
Hey, Hassan.
See the owners of United, Liverpool, and Arsenal. Yeah. As for United and Arsenal, they haven't kicked. Liverpool have kicked the owners out before. I think it was like 2010. We kicked out Hicks and Gillette, who are American owners. So FSG might be finished at Liverpool. They might be done. I don't know how they come back from this. They lost the trust of the fans and the manager.
No. But Hassan,
they're not going back.
Wait, Hassan. How do you kick them out if they are the majority owners, though? That's my thing.
We've done it before, though. We've done it before with Hicks and Gillette. Hicks and Gillette were American owners who owned majority of Liverpool. But the fans fell out of love with them. They fell out of love when they put the prices up and they pushed them out. I think we can push them out again, FSG out. But as for Arsenal and United, they'll just drop kits tomorrow and they'll buy it. they all talk. Arsenal start buying new kits. They'll come out tomorrow. So the owners, United, Arsenal, are not going anywhere.
Okay. So wait. Mo, and then I'll come to you, Zeman. Mo, talk to me, Mo.
Okay, yeah, I just want to start by saying I'm totally against the Super League, but like sending abuse to people who are for it is totally unacceptable. I'm not in a position of like power or anything, but I just have to say, like Red was saying, people are abusing, and I'm sorry, that's stupid. And if you're listening and you're sending those abusive messages, you should be embarrassed of yourself. How childish do you have to be?
Speak on it.
Yeah. In terms of the Super League, look, I think financially, it does benefit those teams, but it harms everyone else. That's a fact. And anyone who is trying to convince me that it's good for football is lying. And so is Florentino Perez. Because we know Levy, we know Kroenke, we know all of those guys. They don't care about football. So once you put them in this quote-unquote elite competition and guarantee them 250 million just for participating, they're not going to have any ambition to win. They're not going to compete. Like Levy would happily sell Kane, sell Son, and promote guys from his second team, let them play in this elite competition, be fully satisfied with finishing bottom of the table every season and getting paid 250 million. You're giving him a safety net for failure. He can fail every time, still get paid, and not have to compete whatsoever. The only teams that might have ambition are the historically ambitious teams like Real Madrid, Barcelona, Man United. But those teams, Arsenal, Tottenham, even AC Milan with their new owners, they're not going to have the most ambition. So eventually the interest of the thing itself will die out. Secondly, the rest of football, the rest of the teams are going to be financially damaged. And aside from those 12 teams who are initially in it, the only team that really produces youth products are Barca. Everyone else buys players from other teams. So if you have teams like Ajax, like Lyon, like Dortmund, like all of those other teams losing money, their academies are going to be affected, and then you're not going to have the next Zidane. You're not going to have the next Cruyff. You're not going to have the next Koeman.
They're already losing money already, though. Irrespective of what's irrespective of what's happening.
They're losing money because of COVID. But once the situation starts to settle down, they're going to start making money once fans are allowed into the stadiums again. They're going to start making money again.
Even before COVID, if you look at English football, even before COVID, that's why Bury, for example, is a recent example. Clubs just completely gone into administration. There were clubs already suffering because the legacy. So if you look at the Liga and Serie, Premier League, of ownership of clubs, and part of the reason why we're in this situation was completely fraud, borrowing, bank loans, etc., etc. So there are many clubs in the lower leagues that are in a massive amounts of debt with terrible ownership which has now been compounded by by COVID. When you then come to the fact that the Premier League and UEFA and all those competitions have no interest. Okay, yeah, you're right at the fact that the money's but the Premier League and UEFA have no interest in giving more money to these smaller teams. They're not going to more money to help these
also,
teams.
RDS,
I'm
another
not
point.
saying.
Well, just add on RDS's point is also when you look at the deals that these clubs have with these competitions, it's TV right deals, right? Which guess what we don't do anymore. We don't watch TV. The income that these clubs get needs to be renegotiated. We have streaming rights. The sport can be elevated. The sport isn't even hitting near its full potential.
With you. Yeah. No, I agree with all of that, and I agree that there needs to be reform. And I'm not saying that UEFA and the Premier League in this situation are on the moral high ground.
How do you get reform in a monopoly, though? This is the key thing.
I'm not an expert.
There's no reform.
See, I'm not an expert, so I can't give you the solution right now. But what I'm saying is that this Super League doesn't help the situation. It's not going to solve anything. It's going to accelerate the problem.
But more, what the Super League has already done,
it's solved the problem.
Already revealed stuff that I think people didn't know.
And I'm happy about that. But what I'm saying is, if it does go through and you do have this exclusiveness, the La Liga is going to turn into the Copa del Rey, basically. The Premier League is going to turn into the FA Cup, and the Champions League is going to turn to the Europa League.
Wait. But more, the key thing now is what people should be saying is, oh no, football's back. No. What people should now be saying is,
it's not.
Why are UEFA lining their pockets with money that should be going to these clubs?
Yes.
What people should now be saying is that, guys, we know how big football is. This is the number one sport in the world. We know the numbers we know the numbers that these does. Teams being properly paid throughout all the years of the Champions League. You know how popular Messi is. You know how popular Cristiano and Neymar are. Where has all the money gone?
What does UEFA do? What does UEFA do? They just all UEFA do is set up the matches and tell people to play. What did they really do? Why did they? Why should they keep $4 billion in their pockets?
I told you no. Okay, wait. So I said I was going to come to Zima. Let me just quickly get these jobs.
Real quick.
Okay, real quick. Just finish it real quick.
Yeah. So this was going to be my second point. I'm not saying that UEFA and FIFA are right in this. They're both wrong. But I'm saying the Super League isn't going to solve the situation. It's only going to accelerate the problem. Eventually, the entertainment would die out because teams will lose ambition because of the safety net they have. And even though, people are saying this is the natural evolution of football, within every evolution, no team, name one team in the Premier League that technically can get relegated. Name one team in the Champions League that cannot be qualified the next season. You can't name them because it's not how football works. And the Super League, it defeats the purpose of the passion of the game and of how the structure of the game works.
Okay, so before I come to Zeman, so from Andrew Laurie, think of the dub, who says, from an entertainment point of view, the Super League would be really bad. There will be lots of nothing, pointless games, basically friendlies. And I think this is the point that FG made. You don't know until you see it. You can't just make an assessment of that if you haven't seen. So we're just project. Let me just go through the jobs at them goes. We're just projecting. So from Uncle Wham, who says, where does this Super League money come from, by the way? JP Morgan. Because JP Morgan obviously did research, they assessed potential projections, and they know what we all know. This is the biggest sport in the world.
AJ, breaking. All clubs have freaking
Twitter's popping off more.
They left
every single club?
Yeah, every single club.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. Let me just get through this.
All English clubs.
Easy.
Okay.
So from Whimsical Thought, thank you for the dub. Red, you don't need to explain yourself. I do not know why there is such an uproar. All we want to see is Kong versus Godzilla, not Kong versus puny humans.
No. We don't want to see Kong versus that little girl, bro. We don't want to see that.
Okay. Pause. Okay, so and from Malenko Savage, who says Perez plans this for 20 years. Plan this for 20 years just to expose UEFA and get more money. He's the ultimate hustler. Look, man. So I think so. Last 10 minutes because I have to go and do some.
Wait, let me
work.
go.
That's last 10 minutes. So okay, Zima, talk to me. Talk to Zima.
Yeah, I was gonna say the problem with these clubs losing money comes down to, it's never been a fair game. You look at the distribution, viewership, accessibility of like certain games, like La Liga is all of its revenue majority of its revenue comes from viewership from Real Madrid and Barcelona, and they dictate what type of channels they sell it to and what type of distribution channels that they sell it to. So at the end of the day, this game has always been rigged in that sense. It's always fulfilled these clubs, but these clubs are going through turmoils, and they understand that clubs that are reliant on membership, club membership, in order to be sustainable, and they rely on a democratic system, they can't afford these huge, multi-billionaire owners. So that's always been the gap, and I feel like the people that are going to be impacted the most are the people that were elected to their positions. So Laporta played his card right because he didn't expose himself. He didn't do any press conferences because he knows that this could go to a vote of no confidence if the socialists feel some type of way. Perez knows that he can't back down from this. So the people that are going to be impacted the most are membership, clubs that have membership. So it's mostly La Liga clubs that are going to be impacted.
Honestly, I don't think Perez will have to.
Not relax.
I don't think Perez will have to resign. I don't think it'll affect him majorly. Like tomorrow, he'll sign Mbappe in the transfer window, and people.
Bro, he can't turn up to UEFA meetings again. He can't turn up to UEFA meetings again.
UEFA feels a lot of bridges, bro.
Yeah, he can't come back from that.
No, Seferin made it clear that it's not over yet. These teams can come back.
That's what he did say.
Yo, man.
No. Wait. But you see, more. There's one thing by saying something in public and doing another thing in private. I think because Chafin did say, it's cool to make a mistake. We all make mistakes. Acknowledge you make a mistake. Acknowledge that you effed up, and then come on back.
Yeah, Perez will have to acknowledge that mistake. But what I'm saying is, Real Madrid's viewership across the world is too global and too popular for UEFA to say, "Oh, you're not going to play in the Champions League anymore."
No. They
want Perez out of
By the way, just an interesting fact, real quick. Just Agnelli, the president of Juve, is the godfather of Seferin.
How
crazy is that?
So my point is like one thing to take away from all of this is like it's about how football is going to look to progress, right? How we're going to look to solve this current problem that we have, right? Either we embrace the growth of the big clubs and let them reach their maximum potential, and we might have to create a new tier where they are above these domestic competitions. And yes, we do have to make the Champions League and the Europa League if that, let's say, happens. Or B, we weaken these clubs, don't let them, and we try to cap them so the other clubs can catch up in a sense where, like, we for the other clubs to catch up, so people can see Alcoyano beat Real Madrid once every 10 years and like celebrate that. I'm just interested to see where we go from here because, like I said, like I'm not pro the Super League. I'm open to change. I'm fine to change. I'm open to see competition thrive.
Like, I think a lot of people got the wrong idea after the Sunday thing, because I think a lot of people's points was, if this happens, I'll watch it. Seems like I don't know how it's going to play out, but the international idea is, these are the top teams. Why wouldn't I watch? Now, it isn't perfect. I do like merit. I do like teams to go to promote. But of course, I'm going to watch. Of course, I'm going to watch. Like, if the Premier League, I'm not going to watch. Yeah. So I'm not going to watch. Okay. So let me just get this job. So from the Undisputed, who says football is dead, bikini oil wrestling is better.
Well,
it depends.
Look, man. I mean, look, that first part statement is true. Football is
easy. So from Dungo Kamal, thank you for the job, Dungo Kamal. These owners are idiots. They botched the league proposal and made fans hate them instead of UEFA. Well, any fan that doesn't see the bigger, which is why I need to do those. That's why I like doing those videos. Any fan that has not seen the bigger picture here, you're a sentiment mentioned on you being stupid. I'll repeat myself. You can be angry as the owners, but who created the avenue for these owners to do what they do? They can't try this in Germany because you can't own more than 49% of a Bundesliga team. So, but how do you have a scenario in the Premier League where an American owner who knows nothing about football can own the majority of a football club where he can do anything without the supporters saying anything? That's
Wait,
wild.
can I ask Red a question? Like a real question?
Yeah.
If the fans own, I don't know, partially of the Real Madrid, the whole club, how did they allow Perez? Did they want this to happen, or was it?
No, like essentially the consensus is like, bro, it's all financial decision. They look at it from a point of view is that Real Madrid is actually currently suffering because when you have a club that won the most trophies last season, Champions League trophy last decade, they won 4 Champions League trophies. We're number 1 on social media. We have branding deals with pretty much every organization from Audi to Hugo Boss to all these stuff. And still, bro, we're coming up short. There's a problem with the pay structure, and the club is looking to grow.
That there's a problem in the management.
So the fans will agree with it.
No, not management, because management. I'm telling you, we're number 1 on social media. Nobody has more followers than Real Madrid. Our net spend for Real Madrid, aside from Hazard, who did they sign in the past 8 years?
Sorry, I interrupt you just because
the Bernabeu, of course,
there's a statement from Manchester United. So Manchester United have said Manchester United will not be participating in the European Super League. We have listened carefully to the reaction from our fans, the UK government, and other key stakeholders. We remain committed to working with others across the football community to come with sustainable solution. But the only reason I highlight the point is that the fact they mentioned UK governments probably shows just how strong the intervention of the UK government was into it.
But it doesn't FIFA say it is illegal for governments to interfere in football matters?
Not when it's in their favor. That's why you see people right now calling me American, but they're capping for American companies. They're capping for Sky, which is a betting company. These are the companies you guys are capping for. You guys are capping for corporations the same way that I'm capping for a corporation. Right? Hold
up. Is this true?
Look, man, I would not be surprised, but
money?
It's not that reliable.
Let's not go to
if they can find $4 billion in their couch, then who knows?
Nah, it's not that reliable.
This is so.
Wait, actually, it can't be true because UEFA can't give them enough money, more money than fucking the Super League would have brought.
No. You see, guys. Okay, to your sentiment, Majesty. The narrative that's going to be spun is the fans stood up, the fans rose up, and it was a grassroots thing. Maybe the real thing was JP Morgan gave them $5 billion. Could he give us $7 billion? Oh, we could do one better, 7.5. How about 8? Keep the freaking change. Maybe these guys, this was all, and this is what we said on Sunday, bargaining power. This was just a power play. So, because remember, we've had that these UEFA guys now want to revamp everything because they know that if these big teams just pull out and go, then boom. And I don't think there's much, because I think they said like the judge basically threw out the UEFA or FIFA trying to sue these guys. So I think really legally they're actually within their right just to pick up and just go and actually create their own league. So this is about you need to now create more cash.
Premier League has the rule that says that clubs are not allowed to join a league other than the Champions League or the Europa League without the written consent of the Premier League.
They probably had that in the first division, and then you know what happened.
What?
They probably had that rule in the English First Division, then the Premier League came along.
Yeah, that's the thing. The
But
first
like,
one.
can I just go back to my point earlier?
Real quick. Okay, so from Chainsaw Man DH, who says, let's be honest, Chelsea and Man City ruined football. Not to mention the Premier League is the reason Champions League is not as good. UEFA is a problem too.
What? Like, how does that make
That's
sense?
not true. That's not true. That doesn't make
Nats is all your fault.
Wait. It's easy. And also from Latin Rosario, who says, as 50 Cent would say, it's all parts of the game.
Facts.
Popcorn emoji and fire thing. Okay, wait, because I need to go. I need to leave at 5. So closing arguments. Before we're back here tomorrow. We could be back here tomorrow.
All I want to say is about this is that, like, look, we need like this. I'm glad that these clubs got to hustle some money out of UEFA. This isn't bad. This is actually good for these clubs. Money is not bad, people. Money is good. Injecting more money into football means that you'll like that everybody will get a slice. It trickles down to the rest of the clubs. It gives them more spending power. It makes the sport grow, and that's what we want. We don't want to be xenophobic to fans that are outside of England, where you kind of disrespect them and tell them that they're not allowed to have an opinion or formulate an opinion because it affects your footballing experience, because it also affects our footballing experience. We're all equal in this. We all deserve an equal say. Greed is not good. Growth is good. Growth, that's the key thing. If the money they're getting is being invested into the club, being invested into infrastructure, getting in goal line technology, getting in better technology to really referee these games where we get a more fluid motion and play, giving these clubs better stadiums so they could actually play. This is good for the sport. This isn't bad, so we can't really hate on these things. But
see, what I've always said is that for me, I differentiate club football and international football. International football, no, that's the purity. Like, let's put the whole.
What? Bro, there's so many. You know how many World Cups have been rigged? Come on, bro.
No. But I'm telling you, the general idea of what it's about, it's country against country. Forget about it's rigging. No, the general idea is this is your country against this is your country. That is the general idea. Club football it's based on money. So it's based on money.
How much money
do you have to pay for this guy?
I can say the same thing. France invading Africa, getting all the talents from all the countries in Africa, and like winning a World Cup. That's literally what France.
But you still have to convince them to play for your side. So you still have to do convincing.
And most of those players were raised in France.
Yeah, they came to France.
So you actually have to do some real work. Club, do you have the money? Oh. Pay if you can pay, there you go, you're happy. So club football, guys, it isn't this kind of special, beautiful, pure thing that you guys make it out of. It's built off of money.
Bro, you're a dollar sign to these clubs, man. You're a dollar sign. Stop it. You're
built off money.
You're naive if you think that your club values you as a fan and as a member. I'm telling you that right now. I'm looking at these kids respond like that they actually think that this is football. Like club football has been sold. It has no soul a long time ago.
It's sold.
International football is where it's at. That's why I always rate the World Cup highs, because that's where passion is.
The
but
funniest
for you to actually think that you're actually a valued member, bro, you're a dollar sign to these clubs.
The funniest thing is when all these fans says my club. I can't believe my club did this. When has it ever been your club? This has never been your club. You're not the. I'm a neutral because I'm a smart man.
I support the people, bro. I will fight for your rights as fans, and I would rather fight for these clubs and these corporations. When I speak, I'm speaking as for us as fans, not for these corporations.
So before I head out here, because he's just coming so undisputed. Before we roll out, so your thoughts on this, man? Your thoughts? Give me your thoughts.
Football is dead. It is dead.
Why?
It's been a long time. It's there's no point in these domestic competitions. There's no point in Champions League group stage.
With facts.
I've already gotten 5 sports down that are better than football in every way imaginable.
What?
Guys, NBA, golf,
yes,
Formula 1, badminton, and bikini oil wrestling.
I agree, man. I agree.
Guys, I love all of you guys, apart from Osasuna because he's a prick, but everyone else, I love you guys.
Wow.
Peace out.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna
wait. Final thing, and then this is the last thing, and I want just everyone to go around the room, and they will then end it, and we'll be back here tomorrow. Don't worry, we'll be back here 10 p.m. tomorrow. We'll be back here talking this thing. So, quick thing right now, and I'll go around the room. Will this Super League happen, or is it finished? One word, yes or no? Z-Man.
No, but this has been entertaining, to say the least.
Nomad.
Not in this manner, in another way.
Interesting. Mo?
Not yet.
Natsa?
No. If UEFA do the job, no.
Undisputed?
No, never, unfortunately.
Hassan?
Yes, it will, and hashtag semis maximum.
Hassan, you are a sick man. FG?
Oh yeah, yes. But it's been
yeah.
reported that the league has been suspended.
Okay,
Not
thank
been
you.
canceled, so yeah,
FG,
suspended.
thank you.
Keyboard suspended.
FG,
We just need a more vicious dictator.
FG, I just said thank you. Darian?
Apparently, AC Milan is out, but yes, but if we call the UEFA Champions League.
And Red?
It's dead. UEFA won. The Mafia won, HH.
And
It's not over. It's not over, Red. It's not over yet.
I'm going to say for now, it is done for now. But guys, for now, it's done.
10 years
Something
from now,
like
it's
this.
coming back.
Can someone remind FG?
breaking.
Can someone remind
Breaking
FG
news.
that? No,
Breaking news.
Can someone remind FG if the Super League have...
What's breaking news?
Breaking news. All
What
of
is
the
it?
Premier Leagues have publicly confirmed withdrawal. All six.
Okay, I'll see it. So
Wow, they're getting paid, but
guys,
not
we'll be back,
Barcelona,
guys.
Real Madrid.
Easy. We'll be back at some more,
FG, I
guys. We'll be
spoke
back at
to
some more,
you,
guys.
but,
Peace out. Peace.
Peace out, guys.